going on, boys and girls? Zap here, and it's been a minute since I've actually sat down and talked with you guys about a particular topic that was not video game related. So I think we're long overdue for one, and you can thank the subject matter to Broken Games HD. He basically did a video on this, I want to say a day ago, and it was a very interesting topic, so I snatched that sumbitch up real quick, but not without giving him full credit for it. So shout outs to BG for this topic. And as you guys can tell, the topic of the video, as per the title, is white people using the N-word. Now, I don't want to just generalize it to white people. Let's talk about everyone who's not black using the N-word. You know, Hispanics, Asians, Arabs, Native Americans, etc., etc. Everyone under the sun that is not black, like African or African American, using the N-word. Now, me personally, I grew up around various cultures. Being in southeastern California, more specifically San Diego, California, I grew up around various cultures: Hispanics, Asians, Native Americans, whites, blacks, you name it. You guys can probably hear it in the tone of my voice. You can see it in my mannerisms on stream that I'm not 100% influenced by one culture, or I'm not predominantly influenced by one culture, one race, one demographic, etc., etc. You know, you got people that think that I'm white when they watch my YouTube videos, but then they're like, holy shit, that motherfucker is black, unsubscribe. So, you know, it's a very interesting dynamic when you're exposed to so many different cultures, and those cultures and those different ways of life all kind of help shape and mold you into who you are. And I was very fortunate enough to where in my area, you know, all the predominantly white areas and all the predominantly black and Asian and Hispanic areas, they're all really close to each other. So you'll have Asians and blacks and whites all, you know, mingling and integrating with each other and walking around each other and influencing each other on a regular basis. So, you know, everyone kind of does have this tolerance to each other's culture. You know what I mean? And that's how I grew up. I grew up in an area of tolerance. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me if you're black, white, you know, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. So I was very fortunate, and it's not like that for everyone, unfortunately. You got some people who have never grown up around anyone that was not the same skin color as them, which then over time can build a little bit of an ignorance. Now, don't use the word ignorance as something negative, okay? Basically, you just don't know about something. You know, you're not really 100% educated or well knowing of a certain person or aspect of how they do things, how they grew up, blah blah blah. So, you know, a white person, for instance, who grew up around nothing but white people and doesn't know anything about black culture outside of what they see on TV, which is very disgusting, by the way, is probably going to be, you know, completely ignorant to some of the things that us collectively as black people go through on a daily basis, on how we are not only with each other as black people, but also with other cultures. You know, I think black people are some of the friendliest people on the planet, and you know, I think that we are some of the easiest to get along with if you actually give us the chance to. And I don't really think that's something that's depicted by the media too much, but that's a whole nother can of worms. I'm not going to get into that because that's going to spark a debate, and that's not where I'm going with the video. But, you know, I think that what you have grown up around does have a heavy influence on how you will take certain things that come your way in the future. So with me growing up around so many different people, so many different cultures and races, I've had situations where I've had an Asian friend use the N-word, or a Mexican friend use the N-word, or a white friend or a Native American friend use the N-word. Well, not so much the Native American, but, you know, everybody else for the most part I've hung around, become really good friends with, and just in general conversation, I'll use it. Now, BG did mention this in his video. He said that it's very situational. Obviously, if it's a friend of his, if it's a white friend or anything like that, and they're having just, you know, casual conversation, he's like, yo, my nigga, this album is hot or some shit like that, he's probably not going to get mad about it because that's his friend. They know each other, and he knows that his use of the N-word has absolutely no malice behind it, and he's not saying it as something hateful towards him. But if he's just wandering down the street and he, you know, walks past someone, a white person, and that white person says, yo, what's up, my nigga? Obviously, he's going to have a problem. They don't have a history with each other, and, you know, things like that. So I can kind of get that. It's still very touchy. You know, this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, but for someone like me who grew up around it, it's like, yo, I don't get offended by the use of the N-word, really. Like, that's an insult. Nigger still doesn't really upset me too much. That's an insult from like fucking several hundred years ago. You got to come up with something this generation, my dude. Like, that shit is whack. So I don't really get too offended by the use of the N-word too much, whether it's nigger or nigga, and the context of which is being used. Would I prefer not to hear it used? Of course. But at the same time, black people as a whole, we're using the word all the time. You know, so we can't go around policing it. We can't go around and say, hey, because you're Arabic and you're not black, you can't use this word. Or because you're Asian or Hispanic or white, you can't use this word. No, that's not fair. You know what I mean? We're going around using it constantly with each other. And because they're not us, you know, they're not allowed to use it. That's ridiculous. It's all over the place. It's all over TV. It's all over music. It's all over all sorts of social media. You know, you can't escape the word. And I've come to accept that over the years. You know, it's part of modern day life. It's part of modern day lingo. Nigga is part of a lot of people's vocabulary. So I don't know, man. I think people just at some point need to stop being so sensitive, and black people need to stop being so defensive over a word that they honestly don't really have control over. That's not your word. Stop acting like it is your word. It's a word that everyone can use. Free speech. Okay? But you guys, never mind. I'm not even going to say that because it's another touchy topic. I'm not trying to have this whole fucking debate. But, you know, the N-word it's something that should be taken on a case-by-case basis unless you've, you know, dealt with it before. But, I mean, the usage of the word doesn't really bother me all that much. I really don't care. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.